make it 3.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh, no.
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and I've got 2 clips today. First clip we're looking at is myself in the Ibuki, and we're actually going to take a look at this clip. I played this battle last night, and I want to show it because it was really some good teamwork by the team here, which was quite surprising. We'll get into that. Then we're going to finish up with the second video clip of the Turpits, and we'll take a look at the importance of that clip when it comes up. So, in the Ibuki, and talking teamwork here, right? Okay, so this was a great battle that the team had, and at the end of the battle here, it is a victory, and you'll see, you know, my personal results aren't anything spectacular. However, as a team, we did very, very well. So, to set the scene here on Islands of Ice, and we're sort of looking around, seeing, you know, where the team is going and what I'm going to do. I hate going down and fighting in that southernmost point. I think it's A now, maybe? No, that's D. Yeah, it's D now. Hate fighting down there at D. I avoid that point as much as possible. If I'm in a destroyer, yeah, sure, I might go in there. Or if I'm in a cruiser and I've spawned down there, then I might go down there or stick around down there and help out. But generally speaking, no. Especially at the beginning of the battle, I do not want to be in there because it's just a slugfest, and it doesn't turn out well. I mean, and you can see, like, the enemy battleships, you can see some of them spawn up over there. They're able to fire into that point right away. Once they load into the map and they spot you, they can fire at you, so that's why I don't go down there. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the north. I'm going to group up with the allies I have up here, and then I'm going to see what they're doing, whether they're going to A or whether they're putting pressure on B. So that's my plan at this beginning portion of the battle. So you can see I've got some other allies here with me as well. I think that's a Shimkaze off in the distance on my port side. Not that was an Admiral Hitler I'm shooting at, but you can see my ally right there, right? So I was feeling pretty good about having him next to me. You know, he at least has 15-kilometer torp range. You might have the upgraded for 20-kilometer torp range. So yeah, I figure, you know, any battleships that are going to be on the port side or anything that might pop up out of nowhere, that Shimkaze is going to be able to help me out and take care of it. Which, you know, Shimkaze does an excellent job of. He's positioning himself right now, or him or herself, right now into the cap point at C. So capping that out, and just sort of stop behind the island. You can see him over there, you know, not looking to engage anyone at this point, just looking to get the cap, and hopefully, I'm thinking, protect me as well. At this point in my Ibuki, I finally have the captain retrained. Yeah, so all of the skills that my captain has are finally all effective 100% of the time. I did not spend the 300 gold to retrain him right away. I thought that was a waste of gold. Is it 300? I don't know how much it costs now anyway. Just a waste of gold for me, I thought anyway, so I didn't do it. Just playing through the Ibuki to get the captain you know, fully trained on the ship. As well, at this point, I think I have about 38,000 experience on the ship, and I need 42,000 for the hull upgrade, so working towards that as well. Here comes some torpedoes, not a big concern of mine though, right? They're just off in the distance, easily able to avoid them. And I'm shooting at a Turpits on the port side, just putting a few shots into him before he goes around the island, because I waited to do that because I did not want to receive any incoming fire from that Turpits. The Turpits is amazing, and his guns can just obliterate me, even in this tier 9 cruiser. Looking at the south of the map, right, you can see that my team has capped the D point, we've capped this C point, and now those allies down there are sort of working over any remainder enemy ships that might be down there as well, and you'll see that gradually they're going to be moving themselves to the north. And this is really the point I want to emphasize, and about, you know, teamwork and all of that. I mean, you can see, you know, we're up here, you know, just gotten a citadel hitting on a Thotgor. That's nothing fancy. You can do that in your sleep, right? But we're, you know, I do have some allies remaining up here, and we're just sort of working over these allies, or sorry, these enemies. Waiting for allies from the south to come up. It's at this point too that I'm looking around and I'm seeing the excuse me, just the amount of enemy ships that are up here. There's a Baltimore. I mean, there was an Thotgor. I think there's another Thotgor. There's a Tirpitz, right? There's a lot of ships up here. And in terms of allies that I have up here, there's only the three of us. There's myself, two other ships. We do have that ship in the north, taking out, or well, attempting to put pressure on the A point, but I'm not confident in our ability right now to hold out here on the north and wait for the people to come back from the south. So, in a cruiser, I'm just going to use my flexibility of the cruiser, fast maneuverable. I'm just going to get out of this whole situation. I just sail away from this northern part. No, I'm going to come down. I'm going to group up with the southern enemy, or the southern allies now, and I'm going to help them push to the north. And then we can really see teamwork playing out here. And again, this was like, I talked about it before in some early episodes that I put up when we first started the channel here, talking about uncoordinated teamwork. And what I had meant by that was, you're not actively typing in chat, planning things out with other people. The other people around you are smart enough, hopefully are smart enough to see the situation, right, and react accordingly. And by doing so, you're all acting accordingly, and you're all working as a team towards victory. And that's what we're doing here. I was trying to do it with the people in the north, right? But unfortunately, the north, we just couldn't hold it. There were too many enemies up there, and the bulk of our team was in the south, capturing those points. So once the north is gone, or sort of lost, and once I've realized it's lost, I'm just swinging back around. I'm going to link up with these people down here, my allies in the south who are pushing north, link up with them, and continue the push with them, and work with them. And that's what we're doing right now. You can see the Yamato, my friendly Yamato here, off to the starboard side. He's on fire, but has enough hit points at this point, right? So I'm feeling pretty good about that guy. In the distance, that's an enemy Yamato. And look at him, he grounded himself against that island, so alright. Put a few shots into him. At this range, and given it's a Yamato, I don't expect to actually do a whole bunch of damage. I'd be thrilled if I hit him and did like 100 damage. So that was just a shot that I wanted to let him know that I'm here and I know he's there. So doing that, oh, excuse me, too much coffee. And there I have a Tirpitz, right? Lining up some torpedoes on the Tirpitz. I'm aware, though, of the battle, or of that cruiser, whatever allied ship that is behind me. So I only launched one spread. I didn't want to freak out that guy too badly. I am aware that he's there, but I don't want him to think that I didn't know he was there, and that whole team kill thing. I didn't want that, so I just launched the one. I really could have launched two, though. I'm really sure I had the time, had the distance to get the second spread out, and I think it would have really helped myself, my personal score out, but whatever. There's an Amagi all painted up in the Halloween camo. That Halloween camo, 30 gold for it, right? I've used it a few times, but what I have found, and I really like the idea of it, 100% extra experience, right? But what I have found is that as soon as I enter battle with that Halloween camo, everyone takes you out. So I stopped running the Halloween camo. I'm not wasting it. It was just a waste of 30 gold. I'd get into a battle. There's a torpedo hit on the Tirpitz that I launched those torpedoes off of. Yeah. Remember I said if I had launched the second spread, might have worked out better for me. Well, I might have gotten an extra torpedo hit on him potentially. But oh well. At least I got one. There goes the Thotgor. And like I was saying about that Halloween camo, yeah, I enter in battle and it's just a complete waste. I die right away. People are just like, oh, look at this fool. He just spent 30 gold on this battle. Let's kill him. And that's what happens. I'm not lucky enough to actually have the camo on and make use of it for a victory. So, yeah, stopped using it. There's the Tirpitz right there that I had hit with the torpedo. So he's almost dead. Now, looking at the overall score, right, we have 2 cap points to their 2. We're currently capping B. Yes, we have finally pushed up to the north and taking the B point. We have almost 800 points. There's my first kill. That was the Tirpitz. We have almost 800 points at this time, and the enemy is struggling to get to 200 points. So we have a really, really good lead on them at this time, right? Now it's just a matter of finishing up these enemies that exist, right? So you can see the remainder of the enemies are in the northern part of the map. They're moving around the island. I imagine they're trying to outflank us, right? Get behind us and shoot in from there. I've got this Tirpitz on this port side of the ship. And this guy I was concerned about. I didn't want to turn and expose my broadside to him to chase down those other enemies. So I'm using this island in front of me as cover. What I'm doing to use it as cover is I'm just driving straight towards it, right? Well, I guess you could say I'm kind of going to pass it on the port side of my ship here, but the reason why I'm doing this is that the Tirpitz won't be able to return fire to me. If he does, he's going to hit this island. And this, you have to be really, really aware of the ship that you're driving or captaining and the ships that you're coming up against. Like in my Japanese cruiser, in this Ibuki, this is a great ship. I love my Ibuki, make no mistake about it. But it doesn't have great armor. And because it doesn't have great armor, this Tirpitz, or any other ship that has a large caliber of cannon, will be able to hit me, penetrate me, and get citadels. And before you know it, your Ibuki's going to be at the bottom of the sea because of all the citadels that you've taken. Look at these few incoming shots from the Tirpitz. Yep, there was one. It knocked out my engine, and it brought me down almost to half health, right? So I've got to return fire, I've got to repair myself, and now I'm starting to heal myself. I could have launched torpedoes at the Tirpitz, but I was aware of that Tashkent over there, the Russian destroyer, and I was also aware of the Shimkaze, and I didn't want to throw my torpedoes into the mix in case I would hit them. They are destroyers, so I'm letting them kill that guy with their torpedoes. Just because I have torpedoes in my cruiser does not mean I need to use them every chance I get. No. Battle over, and we've won. And, again, bringing it back to the whole teamwork, you can see my scores are nothing fantastic, right? I still did decent, right? I still got over 1,000 experience, but look at the rest of the team. The majority of my team also got over 1,000 experience. We did really, really well, and it was that silent coordination between the groups of people taking the south, moving up, and then going, south to north, essentially. We did split up, and we went north and south when we had spawned, and you can see how that worked out. The north didn't have enough ships, and we collapsed. We had to turn back around, meet up with our allies in the south, and then proceed back to the north with the allies working as a team. Very important. Teamwork. The next clip we're looking at here is in the Tirpitz, and I have got two allies with me in the division. We've got Fuzz and I've got Orvis, I think. I'm in the Tirpitz. What are the other? Fuzz is in Natago, and Orvis is in his Mogami. That's right. Yeah, on two brothers here. So where are we gonna go? It's decided. Right, we're gonna go and we're gonna take the east side of the map. Yeah, we're going to A is where we're going. So, just immediately turn my Tirpitz around, load up my armor piercing. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. Probably have, but I mean, I love this Tirpitz, obviously, right? Like, this is a fantastic battleship, just amazing. In fact, I love this Tirpitz so much, and it does so well, that I'm really struggling to play my Tier 8 Japanese battleship, the Imagi. Now, I love that Imagi. In closed beta, that was one of my favorite ships. And I know it's a battleship, right? And I'm not that great at battleships. But the reason why I love the Imagi was I didn't play it like a battleship. It was fast and maneuverable enough for me to be able to play it almost like a cruiser. And that's where the whole battle cruiser thing comes into play here, right? The whole battle cruiser class, a little less armor, but maintains the caliber of a battleship's cannon, and it also has the speed of cruisers. It's fast. And that's how I was playing the Imagi, more of like a cruiser, you could say a battle cruiser, right? So, and I love the ship. But now that I'm in this Tirpitz, I'm just like, what the hell were those battleships before that? Like, what was I doing before I've got the Tirpitz? This thing is amazing. Just Phenomenal. Anyway, that's enough lording over the turpits here. You can see I did get a nice shot on that turpits over there as he was leaving his base. You know, you're in your battleships, you're able to shoot into that cap if you can spot the enemies. So, still heading over to A, and a few things to take note of here at this beginning part. First, we only have 2 ships going on the west side, right? Sure, it's a destroyer, and the destroyer has already capped the D point, but, you know, it's still early in the battle, and I'm thinking to myself, oh god, like, this is going to be another one of those lemming trains. We're just going to collide all over here on the east. Everyone's going to die, and we're going to lose, right? That's what always happens. Thankfully, that is not what happens. The enemy team was not as coordinated as we were. Now, obviously, I'm in a division, and I'm talking to Fuzz and Orvis in TeamSpeak, and we're coordinated amongst ourselves. But the allies who are also with us, which is the majority of our team, frankly, but the allies who are also with us on this east side are also coordinated. Again, sort of this an unspoken coordination between the different groups here of people playing. Well, we're the only division, the rest are random, so the randoms are coordinating silently with us, our division, and themselves, which really pays off here. We've got an Thotgor off in the distance, so I immediately put fire into that Thotgor. We can get this guy gone without any issue at all. We're gonna get citadels on him, and you know, this turpits just fucking rocks, so this Thotgor is making a huge mistake. Speaking of the Thotgor, actually, just on a tangent here, I did hear, and I do understand, that the Thotgor, there are going to be some changes to the Thotgor. Yes, I'm not sure when these changes are coming, but little birdie tells me that the Thotgor is going to have the repair ability that the battleships get and that your cruisers get at tier 9. Yeah. That's what I understand. You know, like I said, little birdie told me here, so it's completely unverified. I have no idea if this is actually true, but that's what I hear through the grapevine. So, Thotgor drivers out there, there is potentially some light at the end of the tunnel for you. Here's a Pensacola, putting shots into this guy. Yeah, I really don't like Pensacola. I've got one. It's working towards the old, New Orleans, and you can see it right there, right? This is why I don't like the Pensacola. Considerable distance away from them, hit him with a few rounds. One of them happened to be a citadel, as it always is, and I just did a crap ton of damage to that guy, right? Yeah. On the plus side, that turpit's my ally, just finished him off, yeah. On the plus side, though, of a Pensacola, is a Pensacola will teach you how to maneuver your ship, how to strategically place your ship so you're not exposing broadsides, how to angle your ship, and how to take advantage of situations that favor, shooting at range, and also, I guess, to the same extent, how not to be the center of focus, right? And the importance of not being the center of focus in that ship. Anyway, there's an Atlanta. I put a shot into the Atlanta, right? I was hoping that I could just one-shot him, but whatever. I did half his health and damage, so that's pretty good. I'm taking a look at the other enemies out here. I wasn't really focused on one enemy at any one time. What I was doing was taking a look to see who was exposing their broadsides to me and who I could get shots in easily and quickly. Again, it happens to be this Atlanta. While those shots are on their way, take a look at the minimap. You can see the destroyer and the cruiser that we had on the west side is now pushing into the enemy base at C. Is it C? I don't know, their point down there, the most southern point, whatever point that is, that's what they're now pushing into. I believe, no, the cruiser's still alive. We can see him over there. He's sort of working over an enemy down in the southwestern quadrant of the map, while our destroyer is circling around, dealing with the enemies. You can see in terms of the enemies themselves, over on this point, that was a nice hit on the turpits, by the way. Another reason why I love this ship. The guns are amazing. Anyway, you can see that the enemies have not managed to cap this A point. They are currently working on it, but they haven't fully capped it. So we continue to put a lot of pressure as a team on whatever enemies we have. I've got this North Carolina. He just took a nice citadel hit. There go my shots, and I just did another nice citadel hit to him as well. He's almost dead at this point. So this guy kind of becomes the center of my focus, center of my attention now, because I want to get him gone. I don't want to give him the opportunity to repair some of that damage and, make a fighting comeback. I don't want that. North Carolina is... it's an alright battleship. Obviously, I'm biased towards this Tirpitz. The Tirpitz, to me, is leaps and bounds, just so much better than in North Carolina. Just so much better. In terms of the Amagi in North Carolina, which one's better? I'm biased towards the Japanese, so I do say that the Amagi is better than the North Carolina. I know, though, that there are a lot of people out there who love their North Carolina and will debate that with me profusely. Keeping in mind, this is only my opinion. I'm not telling you which one is definitely better or not. No, I'm just sharing with you my opinion and my experience playing the vessels. I have not played a North Carolina, so I do not know what it plays like. My experience with the North Carolina is simply killing them, and how easy I find it is to kill a North Carolina. Yes, they are a big threat, but if they're not focused on you and you catch them at the right time, they are very, very easy to get rid of. So now you can see we are actually sort of moving into this A point. We are starting to cap it. The enemies are in a full retreat at this time. We just destroyed them. The teamwork that's going on here, yes, I know it's uncoordinated and we're not talking about it in chat, but just the teamwork that is happening here is really something else. When you come down to these situations where it's, on Two Brothers, where it's basically everyone went to one side and now it's just a big slugfest between the two teams, when it comes down to this, it's not necessarily completely luck that will determine who's going to win here. Rather, it's the teamwork involved and how, which team is making the best use of teamwork and which team is the best coordinated, and it is taking advantage of the situation as they arise. It's that team that's going to win. And fortunately for us, my team is the team that is doing that. We're highly coordinated at this time, even though it's unspoken. You can still see, yes, I'm pushing into the cap point now, but I've got allies behind me. We can see their shots coming in. This Cleveland, though, just, bring it back to the battle. This Cleveland, I questioned. I said, now, does this guy know that I have torpedoes? You can see I'm holding off on firing them, right? Because I figure he's coming in and he's going to turn. And no, I don't think that he knew I had torpedoes at all, because you can see he actually turns into the torpedoes. When he did, he would have been able to make the turn the other way and actually avoid that whole spread. Here comes another Tirpitz. Friendly torpedoes are on the way to them, and I figure, yeah, all of those torpedoes are going to hit, so I don't even bother lining up my main guns on him. No, they all missed. Couldn't believe it. So now I've got this Tirpitz in front of me. Luckily, my team, who is very coordinated, they are, takes out the Tirpitz and saves me, because he could have got torpedoes off at me, potentially. But again, teamwork, so important in this game, and it doesn't, I'm showing these videos to show that you don't have to be typing in chat the whole time to coordinate and be concerned about it. No, just take a look at the situation, work with the team. Battle over, I get a bunch of credits, a bunch of experience. I mean, it's a Tirpitz, it's a premium ship, this is to be expected. I am top of the team overall, more than double the top scoring enemy on their team, but to be fair, they didn't really have a chance to do anything at all. I was taking another look at damage done. I did 107,909 damage in that battle. Yes, pretty good damage, I know. Not too shabby at all. So hopefully we were able to take out some information about teamwork today, right? Doesn't have to always be coordinated in chat. It doesn't have to always be this big thing that you got to stay on top of. Just take a look at the ships around you. Take a look at the situation. Hopefully the other allies around you are going to come to the same conclusion that you do, and you'll all meet up in one common place on the map and kick a bunch of ass. That's generally what happens when teams do come together. It doesn't happen all the time, because a lot of these teams are random people, right? So that's today's video. Thank you very much for sticking around, watching it through. Leave any comments you might have for me. I'd love reading them, hearing them. Send any replays you have for me as well. Thotgor1@gmail.com. Hit the old like button if you liked the video today, and do remember to subscribe if you are not a subscriber. I thank you so much again for watching the video through, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.